maybe towards the end of October, probably early November, there may be like some regret. Hello, beautiful human. Welcome to your Pisces Cross Watchers only reading. Well, Pisces Bae Cross Watcher only reading. I'm Princess India if you're new, and if you're family, welcome back, my friend, and whatnot, or whatever. I notice I get even more and more dramatic every time I do that. But anywho, if you don't know what a Cross Watchers only reading is, it is a reading that I do with the intention to help out a person who is attempting to get information or to lurk on a Pisces person that they may be romantically involved with. However, according to the grapevine being my comments here on YouTube, you should read them. They're very, very funny. I love my subscribers. You guys are hilarious. Anyway, moving right along. But they can resonate if you're a Pisces person watching this, there is a chance this can resonate. There's also a chance that if you're a Pisces I cannot talk. Mercury retrograde is all up in my mouth. But there's a chance that if you're a Pisces person, this could potentially resonate, but it may be like flip-flopped. And then I've had other people say that this is like resonated with them and not even been like romantic, like it's been like family members and stuff. So just get in where you fit in, my friend. You know what I'm saying? So anywho, we're going to go ahead and hop into you guys' cards and see what is going on between you and your Pisces Bae for November 15th. Well, October 15th until November 15th. Y'all have been working all day. Don't judge me. Don't judge my oily T-zone either. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, moving right along. So the first card that we have is the Chariot in reverse, and that's Mercury energy. Yeah, hi, how you doing? And also Cancerian energy. We also have the Eight of Swords in the reverse. And we have the Eight of Wands in the reverse. The first thing that comes to me, and I'm not going to be surprised because, I mean, these readings this month have just been so fascinating. So, Cross Watcher, it's more or less you guys coming into the middle of October, feeling, well, I'm not going to say the middle of October. I'm going to say y'all came into October, you know, end of September, feeling a little off kilter. This is something completely unrelated, but I just have to say it because I see it. I don't know if somebody had like a car accident or some kind of like, and this is gonna sound so extra, like a near-death experience or something. Not necessarily in a literal sense, but it could be something vicarious, like hypothetically, maybe someone in your age range passed away or something along those lines. Or you could have just gotten a car accident and felt like you were about to die, something like that. And that's just a side note, but I feel that whatever this experience was for that group of people, it's giving you like a new lease on life, if you will. And this would probably, I mean, hey, I'm here for it. This would probably be someone, I don't even know why they would be watching. I mean, unless you're a Pisces, maybe. I don't know why they would be watching this, but whatever, I'm gonna say it. But this is completely unrelated to everything else I'm gonna say, but this would be someone who had some type of scare. It snaps you back into reality. You got really clear on stuff and realized that like tomorrow is not promised. Like, you know, life is nothing but like, you know, a puff of smoke and then it's over. And I feel you guys shut down a lot of stuff. So it's more or less a direction that you were going in. It's like it just completely halted, and it's like an epic epiphany. Right now, not to say that this is a person who could be dealing with this Pisces person that may potentially feel that way, but I just feel like that's just kind of like a side note, throwing that out there. But other than that, going back to what I was saying, it's more or less coming into October feeling kind of off balance and incongruent and not necessarily knowing how it is that you wanted to progress forward. I do feel this Eight of Swords a little different, where it's more or less, as opposed to just like saying, oh, you know, I'm freed from my mental prison, if you will. It's more or less dropping into your emotional space. So it's kind of like thinking, rethinking, and overthinking something and not being able to get a resolve, if you will. So it's more or less, and this is what I usually advise people to do whenever you get into like that analysis paralysis kind of stage of things. The secret out of the mental prisons that we often find ourselves in is to drop into our heart space, or to ask ourselves simply, what would you do if you were not afraid, right? But I'm seeing with this Eight of Wands in the reverse, there's still a lack of a forward movement, and it's kind of like being blocked, because it's asking oneself those questions and still being in transit of trying to get clear, you know, but not really knowing, you know, where you're going from here, in so many words. The next card we have, oh, wonderful, is the Sun in the reverse, and that's Leo energy. And then we have the Two of Cups in the reverse. And then we have the Empress in the reverse, and that is Libra energy, that is Taurus energy. It's related to the planet Venus and things of the sort. Yeah, okay. So here's the deal. With this person, interrelating what it is I'm seeing for you guys in your individual energy with theirs, what it's looking like with your Pisces person of interest is there's a lack of them being honest. There's a lack of them telling the truth. It's like, how can I say it? Is it lying by omission? You know, it's like it's not that they're blatantly lying, but they're not telling the whole truth either. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like, don't ask, don't tell. So if you don't ask, they're not going to tell type of deal. So it's a level of dishonesty here, but I feel that's more or less rooted for them in their lack of vulnerability. So it's almost like with this person, they're in or have always been in a state of, I would have to say emotional unavailability. It's just they're just not open. They're not vulnerable at all. And I mean, by default, you end up being emotionally unavailable when, you know, you're not vulnerable. You know what I mean? And relating this to this Chariot in the reverse that you guys have, it's almost as if when you would try to communicate with this person, like kind of get to the bottom of things, to try to like, where are we? Like, where is this going? You know what I mean? You could never really get a clear answer. It was always like a very ambiguous response that may pacify you for some time, because you know, they'd give you an answer, or even me feeling this in a sense of like validation, like seeking validation. So say hypothetically, and I'm speaking more to this metaphorically, but it's like if you were suspicious that the person was cheating on you, hypothetically people, and you were to ask and say, you know, are you cheating on me? And they were like, no, why would you think that? You'd be like, oh, okay. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like they didn't plead their case or give any type of proof. It's just almost like being pacified by that, because that was enough. It's like, do you see a future with me? Yes, of course I see a future with you. Like, oh, okay. But it's like not really looking for the tangible evidence of that, like the person acting on that, if you will. But I feel the reason why you guys kind of stalled in your forward movement is because you two were on two different pages. Because what my cross watcher person was looking for from this Pisces is more or less, you know, emotional availability, honesty, clarity, truth, like a plan, you know. And I feel that's what had you guys in your head so much with this Eight of Swords. because it's almost like trying to figure out like what you can do to work things out. However, I feel when you guys drop down into your emotional space, like when you get to the root of the issue here of like really checking in with yourself and asking yourself, like, am I happy? Am I fulfilled in this relationship? It's like the honest answer to that is no, because there's a lack of, not necessarily a lack of chemistry, but there's a lack of like intimacy. You know what I mean? Intimacy and union and openness and expression and like opening your heart and soul to someone. It's more or less the connection wasn't that, you know? And with this Empress in the reverse with this person, for some of y'all, well, and I said this in another reading, who was that? Was that Capricorn? Those of you who watch the extended for Capricorn, I don't know why y'all be in here, maybe, I don't know. But in Capricorn's extended reading, which just got so deep, I was saying that the person, and this is kind of reminding me of this, it's like the person was the way that they were because they had a very like oppressive, emotionally smothering mother. You know what I'm saying? So I'm seeing that vibe here too with the Empress in the reverse. And that's like why this person isn't emotionally available. On the other side of that, it's more or less seeing with this person, they're stagnant. It's like this person lacks, they just stagnant. Like they lack growth. It's almost like this person is just like, they're stuck where it is that they are. But at the same time, it's like I feel with my cross watcher to this Pisces or flip-flop, depending on where it is that you resonate, it's like it's not really knowing where to go from here. I mean, some of you guys may have gotten to the point where you came to this realization and you've kind of jumped and like blocked the person, like blocked communication with them, because it's like you just kind of got tired of it. But I still get this sense of, even if that's the case, like coming to this realization that this isn't going to go anywhere, and it hasn't to this point, it's still not necessarily knowing how it is that you want to move forward, or you guys could literally just be in a space to where you're trying to, figure out where do you go from here. Wow. And then we have the Five of Wands at the bottom of the deck. And I don't know why that card's been coming out so much, that and the Five of Swords. I always call that my Petty LaBelle card, because that's when it's speaking to a need to stand in your power. So I want to say to my cross watcher person, if for any reason you're kind of doubting yourself, like, say like you block the person or you cut off communication, or like you realize this isn't going anywhere, there is the potential that you could kind of want to backstep. And I've said that before too. I don't know if that was Sag, I don't remember. All these readings running into each other, all my signs dealing with each other. But anyway, but it's like the only thing I have to say with that is if you start to like kind of have regrets, it's like I have to kind of remind you of what it is that I'm seeing that you already know. And that's looking at the situation for what it is, because how it's looking to me with this Pisces person, or, whoever, wherever you resonate, I don't really see them growing, good Lord, for the foreseeable future. So this is more or less speaking to the opposite of what I said. I think it was in Sag's reading. If I was saying it's a need, with them being disempowered, it's like, I feel you cross watcher guys are in the, not guys, but I mean like people, you guys are in this transit liaison phase of standing in your power. And I feel maybe towards the end of October, probably early November, there may be like some regret where you kind of want to backstep. Like, did I act too quickly? Was I too rash? And the advice I want to give you in reference to that is to stand in your power, because this situation was what it was. And I feel that you know that. And even if you did have like a huge connection with this person at one point in time, I think the time that you spend away from this person, however long that's been up into the time that you're watching this, I feel that you're going to start to see a difference in your own personal life, you know, in the sense that everything that was, you know, previously incongruent will suddenly become congruent. You know what I mean? Like where you were stuck, now suddenly things are starting to move. Where your money had dried up, you're starting to get money out of nowhere. It's like almost as if things are kind of taking off, because I feel that a lot of the issues you dealt with this person, and I said this in Aquarius too, it's like it started to bleed into you and into other facets of your life, but it was never really in alignment with you. Then, ooh, child. Okay. The next card we have is the Tower in the reverse. Then some Mars energy. Then we have the Ace of Wands. And then we have the Temperance in the reverse, and that's Sagittarius energy. So here's the thing, and Scorpio energy too with the Tower. So here's the deal. More or less, when you came to and realized or saw this person for who they were, had whatever epiphany or near-death experience or whatever it was, and I said this in somebody's reading too about dodging a bullet, it's more or less that's what happened with this. Now, another element of this is, I feel like this is a connection, and this is all major arcana straight down this side. So this legit has a lot to do, there's so many karmic cycles that wrapped up, y'all. I believe this is someone that you had a karmic partnership with, meaning it's someone you have a soul contract with, and you both were supposed to learn a very valuable lesson for your overall soul growth, right? And I feel this is a connection that was long past its expiration date. And I feel that right before things got real bad, I don't know. I don't remember whose reading that was. Was it Sag or Scorpio? I think it was Scorpio. Oh my gosh, that was Scorpio's reading that I said this. Before things got real bad, it's almost like divine intervention where you came to and you put a pause to it and were like, no, because it's almost like suddenly you saw what was happening here much different than you had ever seen it before. You know what I mean? And so you guys, this could have been worse, because the reason why I say that is with this, with it being past its expiration date, it's like, it's almost as if spirit will allow things like two people to play chicken with each other, proverbially speaking. And like, you know, chicken, when you're like in the car and you like hit the gas and you're like going towards each other, it's like that will happen to almost create irrevocable damage in the connection, to the point that there's no goesies backsies, you know, in order to free these people up. You know what I'm saying? And I feel that's where you guys were headed. But I feel in some sense or another, on the other side of this, looking at the Tower, it's almost like residual energy that's left. So it's almost like you see this, you cut ties, you move forward. Now you're all like super empowered and you want to work on yourself and like date other people and like go to the gym and like, you know, do the keto diet. Like you want to do all of that stuff. But with this residual energy still being there, because I feel this sense of like desperately wanting to move on real quick and just leave this in the past. And it's like, I'm over it. Like they're this, they're that. Like, I'm not even worried about it. Da, 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 da. But it puts you in a very mental space, right? So even though it's a more positive mental space, you know, with the Eight of Swords in the reverse, it's a more positive mental space. It's the fact that this seed of discord is still very much present, right? And I feel with this Eight of Wands in the reverse that you guys will encounter, and I mean, for some of y'all, it could literally be with this portal that's on the 31st of October, that with that, it's almost like you're going to have to pump your brakes and make a choice, because we're all coming to this big epic crossroads where we have to make a choice for ourselves or against ourselves. And in this Mercury retrograde in Scorpio, this is all about facing our shadow. So there's a need for you to get clear. So with all of these major arcanas being here, coming into this time in the month, coming into the middle of October, there's something you were supposed to pull out of this situation. So it's not about just like, brand new me, like, I'm not worried about you, like, I could do bad by myself. Like, that's not the mind frame you want to be in. It's like, you want to be very clear as to who it is that you're dealing with, why it is it didn't work out, how you got with this person in the first place, why you put up with it for so long, why you left, why you wouldn't be with them again, any connections you see in this person and other people that you've dated before, why you think that you have a tendency to attract people who are emotionally unavailable or people who have mommy issues. You know what I'm saying? It's like, and it has nothing to do so much with the person per se, like why they are doing what they're doing. It's more or less getting clear on why it is that you're doing what you're doing or did what you did, because there is energy for a new beginning here for both of you. And I'm not going to say a new beginning in the sense of like, oh my gosh, stuff about to be so dope for this person, because they still just stagnant and just barren as a person. You know what I'm saying? It's like, that's still them. Like, they still ain't 100% right. However, you want to make sure that you go into your next stage balanced, especially with this portal day, because going through this portal on the 31st is all about you knowing what you base your life on and looking at what it is that you're running from. Like, that's the lighter version of it, but it gets deep. We talk about materialism, the things that you make your proverbial God in life, meaning the stuff that you bow down to without knowing and that you create yourself in the image of. Like, when we morph ourselves for other people, especially like in relationships, it's like, in a figurative sense, it's like that's your golden calf, if you will. Like, that's what you worship. You know what I'm saying? Because that's the thing that you're modeling your life behind and changing yourself for. I know that sounds buku extra, but I'm just being honest. Don't blame the messenger. But anywho, but with this temperance in the reverse, this is more or less saying, if you guys take this energy, like if you don't really know how to move forward, and even if you're kind of tempted to backstep, it's more or less questioning yourself on how this relationship was a mirror, very much, of what's going on inside of you. And I think it's going to require buku self-honesty to be able to see that, to like truly break this mindset. Because with this tower being here, this is deeper than a mindset. It's a stronghold, which says to me like this is something that would date back, literally just like how their issue could date back to their childhood and their mommy issues and things. It could be the same thing for you, cross watcher. And it's a need to see that, because you don't want to run away from this lesson, because everything you endured with this person has very valuable information that you need moving forward. Otherwise, you would end up recreating this situation just with another person. You know what I'm saying? So if you end up falling into like anxiety, melancholy kind of feelings, feeling kind of off kilter, because I feel like it's almost like it's going to come, like you're going to be feeling really, really good. And then it's like emotions are just going to hit you out of nowhere. And I always tell this like to my mentorship group and stuff. It's like whenever emotions just pop up out of nowhere, look at it like, a strange person knocking on your front door, and just walking in your house and sitting on your couch and eating your food and watching your TV. You know what I'm saying? It's like you would not let this person just come in your house and just do that, because it would be like, who are you and why are you here? So the same with emotions. Emotions are nothing more than energy in motion. Of course, it's connected to all of our hormones and neurons and things of the sort, but just follow. You know what I'm saying? At base level, it's energy. So it's something that comes and goes, right? Emotions fluctuate. It's not anything that stays forever, right? So just like this stranger that you would not let just sit in your house, why would you allow your emotions to be in your proverbial house without ever questioning them why they are there? You know, you wouldn't let a stranger just be in your house eating up all your stuff. And so the same with like letting, you know, melancholic feelings just come and chill on your proverbial couch. You know what I'm saying? You always want to question your emotions to find out where it came from, what triggered you. When did you start feeling sad? What are you sad about? You know, you need to interview them, you know, because I do feel this is like a little heads up. I mean, it's not nothing that's like super huge, but it's just that I feel the confidence that you guys are feeling and starting fresh and saying like, you know, I don't need that. I could do better. Da, 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 da. You may hit a little hiccup where you start feeling away, or you might start feeling a little lonely, or, you know, just feeling off balance. And we always end up looking back to where we know something is familiar, or where we feel a sense of, you know, stability, if you will. And you may be tempted to backstep, even if this person, you know, end up coming back into the fold. But you just have to remind yourself of what you're doing and why, and getting really clear. For some of you, even knowing or learning what a healthy, balanced relationship looks like. You know what I'm saying? So this feels very much to me like a deep diving kind of deal. But with this person, they got all kinds of issues with themselves that they ain't even dealing with. You know what I'm saying? But as far as the two of you, I feel that the cycle between the two of you, it's over, you know? And I think what's happened a couple of times before, if you choose to restart it, like it looks like y'all did before, you can, you know what I'm saying? But next time around, y'all might actually get the tower. Just saying, just throwing that out there. But anywho, that has been your reading, my wonderful Piscean cross watcher. I'm going over to Vimeo, Patreon, my website and YouTube members to do you guys extended, where we're going to look at how this person thinks and feels about you at present. So if you're about that life, follow me on over there. But if not, I still love your face, and I will see you guys sooner than later in the extended. If you're a member, I already know that you're going to be there. So see you in a second.